Welcome back everybody to Molly's Kitchen. My name is Aaron and this is my sous chef.
Hi, I'm Isaiah. I'm going to be helping my dad today.
Okay guys, so for tonight's recipe, it's going to be super easy. What we're making tonight is pizza dough, everybody's favorite food. Now I want to start off by saying that most of these ingredients people already have with the exception of yeast and bread flour. Now the only difference between bread flour and all-purpose flour is that it has a higher protein content and it has more gluten in it. That helps the bubbles make the bubbles get bigger when it's rising. The yeast, its purpose is to help it rise. So we're going to start off by having my sous chef here take this 8 ounces of hot water, tap water, but it's got to be pretty warm. He's going to add that to the KitchenAid bowl. After that, we're going to have him add the yeast. We have about 2 teaspoons of yeast. If you can, try to get your hands on fresh yeast because fresh yeast works a lot better than dried yeast. We're also going to need to add sugar because to activate the yeast you have to have sugar. Once we have all those ingredients combined into the KitchenAid, we're going to take a small whisk and whisk it all together because we want the yeast to fully dissolve before we start adding other ingredients. What else I have here measured out is 1 3/4 teaspoons of salt, 1 ounce of olive oil, 14 ounces of bread flour, and I reserve just a little bit of bread flour for our cutting board when it's time to start kneading. My sous chef here, as soon as he's done mixing that, he's going to attach our dough hook to the KitchenAid mixer. You don't have to have a KitchenAid mixer to do this at home, it just saves a lot of time. You ready, Isaiah?
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and throw in the bread flour. Remember guys, 14 ounces. If you don't have a scale at home, that's okay. It's a little over 3 cups, not quite 3 1/4, but just over 3 cups. Looks like we lost a little bit of flour here, so we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of bread flour back into that. Go ahead and lower the KitchenAid. Lock it in place and turn it to 2. While that's mixing, I remember when I was in school, in culinary school, making this pizza dough. I remember that one of my classmates, he tried to put it in a piping bag. It was pretty funny. We all kind of had a good laugh that day. Remember guys, you cannot pipe pizza dough. You can't pipe any kind of dough through any kind of bag. It just simply doesn't work. While that's mixing, I also want to point out that I have a rather large bowl here. I have it here because once it's done kneading, we're going to put it into this bowl and we're going to put it in our refrigerator to use it at another time. What's going to happen in the refrigerator is it's going to get larger and it should double. So with me, I also have a permanent marker. When I put my ball of dough in here, I'm going to draw the circle on how big that ball of dough is on the piece of plastic wrap that's over the ball of dough. How's that coming along, Isaiah?
I think it's going pretty good.
I think it might need a little more water. We're going to go ahead and add in just a little more water to that piece of dough. Four ounces should do the trick. It's right there, Isaiah. Go ahead and put that 4 ounces of water in there. Another key part of this is that we use extra virgin olive oil. Go ahead and add that to the pizza dough. And the last component that we add in there is salt. Again, like I said in an earlier video, we always use kosher salt in the kitchen. I'm not sure exactly why, probably because it's easier to measure with your fingers. If you don't know, 2 fingers is about a half a teaspoon. 3 fingers is about a teaspoon, and all 4 fingers comes out to about a tablespoon. That's looking like it needs a little bit of extra flour. And here comes the funnest part, the last ingredient, kosher salt. Another benefit to using kosher salt is that it's not iodized. While that ball of dough is mixing, I'm going to go ahead and pre-sift some flour over the top of my cutting board. You always want to make sure that you lay down a little bit of flour so when you start to knead it, it doesn't stick to the board. This dough sometimes can be a little bit sticky. It's coming along pretty good. You'll know that you have it right in a KitchenAid anyways, because the top piece of the KitchenAid is going to move around a lot because it's kind of hard for it to process this kind of dough. A KitchenAid was not intended to knead dough, even though it does have a dough hook on it. Go ahead and shut that off and let's take a look at the dough. Now you want it to be all together but not too sticky. That's good to go. So we're going to go ahead and knead the dough. One important part that I forgot to mention was that you always want to spray the bowl that you're putting the dough in so it doesn't stick. Isaiah, would you grab me the pan out of the cabinet, please?
Yes.
We're using Pam. You can use any cooking spray. It really doesn't matter what kind. We just happen to shop at Costco, so we get a deal when we buy these. We're just going to spray the inside of the bowl. This way, when the dough rises, it doesn't stick to the bowl. Our dough is just a little wet, which is okay, because it's going to get more flour in it as it touches the cutting board. Now, the idea of kneading the dough is that you smash it down flat, fold it in half, and give it a quarter turn. Make sure to keep your cutting board with plenty of flour on it. Smash down, fold in half, turn by a quarter. Smash down, fold in half, turn it by a quarter. Smash down, fold in half, turn it by a quarter. Now we just do this over and over and over again until we're looking for the right consistency. I'm going to be doing a demonstration later on how to make fresh pasta. The important part to making this dough is that you want to make sure when you press it down with your fingers that it just bounces right back up. That's a good indication of when your dough is ready to go. I'm going to have my sous chef work on this dough for a little bit. While he's kneading this dough, like I said, I get a lot of my recipes from pretty much all over the place. I love a good pan pizza. This particular pizza that we're making, I have a special plan for it. We're not going to use it in a regular traditional type of way. We're going to make breakfast pizza with it. I don't know how many of you guys have ever had breakfast pizza, but it's pretty good. I am not going to be demonstrating breakfast pizza. You can use this dough for any kind of pizza you want. Traditionally, you don't want to roll the dough out, but I still do anyways. They say that it breaks the gluten strands. I say it's pretty much however you want to make it. But the key to making dough is to mix the ingredients, rise the ingredients, shape, proof, and then bake. Not everybody has a proofing box in their home. I know I don't have one, but I have a gas oven, and when it's turned off, it sits around about 95 to 98 degrees inside the oven, not turned on, just by the light from the pilot light. It makes for a perfect environment to rise dough and to proof it. The key to proofing dough in your oven is to make sure that you have a pan, or in our case, a bowl full of hot water. It doesn't need to be boiling, just the hottest water that comes out of your tap. And what we do is we place this on the bottom rack of the oven, and we put the dough in the bowl. We put the dough that's already been shaped on a pan, and we just let it proof. Proofing is always the last step before baking. Remember, we have to shape it. Isaiah, let me take a piece of that dough and show these people if it's ready or not. I'm going to go ahead and fold it again, give it a turn. It still feels a little tacky, but it's ready to go. What we want to do is make sure that we make it into a nice ball. We do that by taking our hands and cupping it just like that, and you push while your hands stay cupped, and what you end up with is this beautiful ball of pizza dough. It's going to be delicious. That's all for today from Molly's Kitchen. Tune in for more videos later. Thank you.